I don't care who killed the prostitutes. If Crane was helping himself to the community coffers, it means his hand was in my pocket, and you just let him go!
I don't know what you heard, but it didn't happen like that.
Are you denying the facts?
She's denying me the chance to get a word in. Now, Miss White,
Sheriff Bigby has returned.
Ah, there's the old wrecking bowl himself.
Bigby, where have you been?
I'm not finished here, Miss White.
You will have to wait. Just one moment, please.
Look what I found.
Seems your dog wants a biscuit.
I'm not in the mood.
Can you fuck
You've
off?
got a lot to answer for.
Oh, really?
Buffkin, get this piece in the mirror right away.
With pleasure, Miss White.
Because you guys can't do it yourself.
Finally, things are swinging back in the right direction. Good work, Bigby. You've been gone all day. What did you uncover? I thought you were going to report back to me. I mean, it's fine.
I gotta say, this thing reaches a lot further than we thought. The Crooked Man has something on everybody. It wasn't just beauty.
I don't like that
alone.
Bluebeard is right
Beast
here.
was working for him. His goon, the Jersey Devil, is putting the squeeze on all kinds of Fables down at the Lucky Pawn. And he's got Fables enslaved at the butcher shop, making black market magic.
This is worse than we could have imagined.
But that's over now, because we got the mirror. And once it's fixed, we got him. That's how Crane did it. That's how we're gonna do it.
Excellent work. Really.
Sheriff, I could use your assistance. Would you join me at the mirror?
Are you serious? It's one piece. And I'm
Don't
not
go
so
far,
sure we
Sheriff.
have it in the bag
I'd like to
already.
have a few words of my own with you.
Unbelievable.
Why'd you put the hurt on Flycatcher? Were you hiding something down at the Tweedles? Or was it just for fun?
He worked for them, didn't he? I couldn't be sure that he wasn't involved, and I didn't want him interfering.
I don't trust you
I
one
was
bit.
simply endeavoring to make the search a speedy one. Surely you, of all people, can't fault me for getting overzealous in the process.
I don't buy it. I have more important things to deal with right now. But you can be sure that we're gonna have a long fucking talk about this when I'm done.
I do so enjoy our talks. I'll wait with bated breath.
Go
I don't
away.
understand. This piece just doesn't want to join the rest. Do you have any idea why?
Got me.
Not necessarily.
Well, where did you find it? What has it gone through since being separated from the rest? Shattering is a very traumatic experience, you know.
Old?
So this process can be a little touchy. It helps that I have a good working relationship with the mirror.
It had a front row seat to a pretty gnarly brawl at the Lucky Pawn. When I found it, it was still in Crane's coat. Last person I saw with Crane or his coat was that psycho Bloody Mary.
He said everything anyway.
Ah, yes, Miss White was asking about her. That explains it. You know who and the mirror have a very unhappy history with each other. How would you like it if she tried to use you as a doorway?
I think I already know the feeling.
Well, I think I know how to proceed now. It will just take a little extra coaxing, that's all. Thank you for your help. It could be a while, Sheriff. I'll find you when it's ready. Besides which, he might not want to come out with you watching.
Oh, he doesn't like being spied on.
How ironic.
Is it fixed? Did you ask about the Crooked Man?
Buffkin's still working on it. He said it might be a while.
If you're so self-reliant, what do you want from the business office so bad?
What I want is my business.
I can't take those two right now. We're trying to catch a murderer, and they're
They need to
over
both
there
get outta
bickering
here.
about bureaucracy. We're at war. Don't they realize that?
You need some help over there?
Yeah, thanks. Go talk to Toad. But just so you know, we can't pay him.
I can, though.
He really needs to go to the farm, you know. So just break the news and be done with it, okay?
No budge on that bloody glamour. I only came in to see
Toad, come here.
I thought I made myself very clear.
I see how it is. Passed off to an underling, eh? Why am I not surprised? Well, you did cause what damage brings me in here, so maybe it's for the best. Just need a little bit of dosh to cover it. I tried talking to her about it, but it's like chatting up a brick wall, it is. Now, I'm sure you've got your own agenda, Sheriff, but I've taken a real wallop because of you.
before we get into any of that, what do you know about the Crooked Man?
Don't try to change a subject on me. I need a little bit of that walking around money, you know? My car, total, the gaping maw in my wall, any of us
That's
sound
true.
familiar?
That is my fault.
I'm not looking for a handout. Just what's right.
Here, Crane won't be getting any use out of this. Will that do?
Crane's money, eh?
You didn't need to say
I
that.
suppose that means it belongs to me as much as anybody. Thank you, Sheriff.
Use it to get glamored, Toad. You got the money now, so I won't be so lenient if I catch you again. And the farm is always on the table.
But of course.
Good.
Is Snow gonna be mad that we use Crane's money, though? I hope not.
Bluebeard, you want to talk? Now's your chance.
I've just made my donation funding this office, so direct your questions to Miss White.
Well, at least he's not trying to get rid of me.
He's not?
For now. Did you take care of Toad? I mean, I saw the way he left. I know it may not seem that important right now, but glamours are the law for a very good reason. You know that as well as anyone.
Don't worry. I did the right thing.
Are you sure? Because he left looking pretty happy. Fine, we'll deal with it later.
No, it's
I know
fine.
I should
It's
be
fine.
asking how it got like this, but I just
did
keep
break his
wondering
car.
why it happened. To Faith and Lily. You've seen his world. Do you have any idea why he'd want them dead? I don't know if the Crooked Man killed them with his own hand or if it was one of his goons, but someone did. What would make a person do that?
If there's one thing I figured out, it's that the Crooked Man is all about control. It's what he does with the loans at the pawn shop, the magic he peddles, chains, ribbons. Maybe Faith and Lily weren't doing what they were told. Or maybe they just tried to leave.
Sheriff, Miss White, I believe the mirror is repaired.
Nice job, Buffkin.
I have to say I have been better. But thanks for putting me back together.
I'm sorry, I have to know. Mirror, mirror, we're glad you weren't slain. Now please show us that sick creep Crane.
That personal vendetta.
Are you really sure you want to see him?
Like, we don't know what he's doing right now, you know.
You will get on that plane to Paris, and you will wait for the day the Crooked Man needs you. Until then, not a peep. Otherwise, I get to deal with you my way. So please, please disobey. Wait a minute. Someone's watching.
How does she know? What? Oh, because
Just happened.
the magic
We
mirror and
pointed
Bloody
you in the wrong
Mary.
direction and looked at Bloody Mary's reflection.
Oh, her. That explains the sting. I'd rather not have to feel the pain she brings. So, let's not do that again, okay?
Looks like we'll have to track him down later.
You're right. We need to focus on the immediate threat, and that's the Crooked Man. Bigby, we don't have a lot of time.
Mirror, mirror, no time to pout. So, where does Crooked Man hang out? I don't recognize the door, but that's the Crooked Man symbol on it.
Hold on.
It changes location though, right? Is that the pudding and
Door.
pie?
It moves.
Yeah, Jersey mentioned that.
Wait a minute. I know that door.
That's Central Park. I don't know when it's gonna move again, but I'm gonna get there before it does.
Bigby, wait. When you get the Crooked Man, make sure you bring him back alive. He has to stand trial. We can't just dispense street justice. I know that emotions can run high, and you have your reasons to handle this a certain way, but we have to make a commitment to working within the law.
I'll catch him and bring him back here, alive. And we can clean him and cook him together.
Good. I have enough to
romantic.
worry about here while I prepare the case against him. So I'm going to trust you to handle this properly. That is, if you think you're ready.
Of course I'm ready. I got no other choice.
we should look at it first.
That's it, all right.
Okay, that's great. We're not gonna... Yeah, just go in. Here we go! Oh no! I feel like they would know if someone came through the door.
Tim, what the hell are you doing here?
Good evening, Sheriff. I'm here to take you to the boss. Thanks, by the way, for leaving off Tiny Tim. You'd think I'd have outgrown that centuries ago. I have to admit, when they asked me to watch the door, I wasn't sure what to expect when you came through that portal. But I get it. You're not here on a social call.
What is this place? Or where is it? I know I'm not in Central Park anymore.
I'm not sure. I've only ever come in through one of the portals. I don't think you can get in from the actual street. But you can't blame him for wanting to make it hard to find. I'm supposed to bring you right on in, so if you'll come this way. Look, this is the one thing I have to do.
Fine, lead on.
The Crooked Man has everybody under his control.
Thanks for understanding. This is all I'm here to do, and I don't want to mess it up. I know I'm probably the last person you'd expect to be a guard.
Tim, how can you be working here? You know who this guy is, don't you?
He's not as bad as you think. He doesn't treat me like some broken little kid. I think he gets what it's like. He gave me a job, and I'm lucky to have it. This is the only option I've got. Just keep that in mind, maybe? Because if you and the boss go up against each other, the rest of Fabletown is going to get caught in the middle.
This Crooked Man is good at manipulation.
It can't be good.
Don't you realize you're not just minding the door? Work for that crooked bastard, your hands get dirty too.
It's not so bad.
Not so bad? Are you fucking blind, Tim? He's a murderer.
So you're telling me you agree with everything Crane does?
I see how this is.
A lot of us depend on him. Some of us never get to the front of the line at the business office. But he's there. We need you, but we need him too. What we don't need is a war. Hey, Sheriff, hold up. I gotta go in with you. Can't you just wait up, Sheriff? Thanks.
Am I some kind of a fucking joke to you? What did I tell you, eh? Stop laughing at me.
Tell me who the fuck is back there.
Georgie?
I don't exactly know. I just mind the door.
Here's someone with like an Irish accent or something.
That much.
And like
Fucking hell, mate.
I'm sure he will prove himself quite handy to have in my pocket. Either he's smart enough to see this is for the best, or dim enough to do as he's told. I say he'd be more useful killed, skinned, and made.
They're talking about what they're doing with me.
Shoes on. He's right. He was fine when Crane was smoothing things over, but this guy off his leash is a whole other barrel of crap that I don't want to deal with. So that's it then. Let's slip the dogs of war. None of you can see fit to stare him down. The best outcome you can picture is having him dead. I like to think a little bigger than that. You're not frightened, are you? Yeah, it's easy for you to say. He didn't pull the claws out on you. We'll tame the whelp. Like Crane, he will eventually be of more use to us alive. Well, I don't like it. It's not for you to like.
There's at least 3 people inside.
Excuse me, but I have a job to do.
Sorry.
Sheriff Wolf, sir.
There's a lot more than 3 people inside.
Thank you, Tim. I know the sheriff isn't the accommodating sort, but you handled it. You did well. You can go now.
Thank you, sir.
You see, Everyone in Fabletown has a role to fill. You just have to pay attention to what they need to help them find it. Why don't you have a seat, Sheriff? We have a great deal to discuss.
Oh, let's smoke. How's that for an ending?
I've heard stories about you. In the old days, how you picked off those men one by one. Oh, how they screamed. The wolf is coming. And they would wait, hiding anywhere they could squeeze their pathetic, shivering corpses. Some would just drop to their knees where they stood, close their eyes, and wait for death. And you'd give it to them. I wish I could have seen it. Oh well.
Wow. Did you send Colin to the farm? 4.3% chose not to give him an answer. Wow, I am in the extreme minority this time. I guess most people probably didn't send him to the farm, like just straight out said no. Yeah, not really a big bro with him, am I? Did you attempt to remove Nerissa's ribbon? We did not try, because we respect a girl's space, or like any person's space, a person's space, okay? Like, they didn't give you permission, you can't just randomly touch them. Which crooked operation did you investigate first? A little bit more than half went to Cut Above. The Cut Above. Did you send Toad to the farm? Well, if he has a glamour, it's fine, right? So, he has the money now. How did you respond to the crooked man? Yeah, it just seemed so right there to light a cigarette and boom! And then that was the end of the episode. Alright. Well, that was Wolf Among Us episode 4. And now we see there's one complication here now. It's not as simple as everything being black and white. Up until nearly the end of this episode, we always thought, oh, the crooked man, he's a bad guy, he's killing people for whatever he's doing, blah, blah, blah. But no, Tim reveals to us that a lot of it is because the town is messed up to begin with, because the government is useless and they only serve people in the woodlands. And people in the outer skirts couldn't get any sort of support, the poorer people. And as we've seen in the previous 3 episodes built up already, there's a lot of people who are not happy with the government at all. And, you know, I would consider that kind of state pretty vulnerable. They're pretty vulnerable and seeking help. And then the crooked man comes along. So in a sense, it's like the crooked man is filling a void, a need that they have. And that's how you control people. If not by threatening, you help them out and make them dependent on you. But of course, just because he's doing that and because people like Tim think that we shouldn't be doing that doesn't mean that the crooked man is doing the right thing. He's still killing people. We still don't know why. Does it have to do with the spells that were being made at the Cut Above? Not sure. Is it all for his own gain? Still some mystery here and there. But now, like I said, it's not so clear-cut anymore. So we might have a lot to think about in the upcoming episode in regards to what to do with the crooked man. In a nutshell, he's not the greatest guy, but there's still points about him that's helping out the town, right? So, and imagine if we just killed the crooked man right there. That would be a problem because a lot of people who depend on him would have no one to depend on and the town would be in chaos. Like Tim said, they need us, the sheriff, the government, but they also need the crooked man. Let's go check out the Book of Fables now. Let's see here. And I noticed that for every episode, we always miss like 1 or 2. Not sure if I'll ever get around to finding them. I think it's because of certain choices we make. then we can only get one or the other, but whatever. Silver bullets, wolf's weakness. The legends of great and magical wolves often make mention of their weakness against weapons made of silver. And those tales bear out to be true. The silver bullet Mary shot Bigby with was not the first, but any of them could be his last. Any silver left in Bigby's body weakens his system, slows his healing, and can cause long-term damage. I wonder if that's gonna come into play later. Acting deputy. With Ichabod Crane firmly out of the picture and King Cole still absent, the task of leading Fabletown falls squarely on Snow's shoulders. She has performed many of the job's duties for a long time, picking up the slack for Crane, but now that she's fully in charge of the business office, she has to deal with a new level of politicking she had not previously been exposed to. Maybe she'll understand why Crane turned into the way he is. The Jersey Devil. Not all of the fables who came to this world landed in Fabletown. There are those who scattered across the farthest corners of the earth, and there are those who simply prefer the Garden State to the Empire State. Such is the Jersey Devil. Reports of its appearance have varied, although most accounts make mention of leathery wings, but an encounter with a certain axe of legend some years ago has temporarily rendered the feature absent. Oh, so he used to have wings. Woodsman's Axe. Ensorcelled by druids. Once just a simple tool for felling trees, the axe became much more when it was ensorcelled. I don't know what that means, like magic spelled? By druids and marked with their ruins. But it truly became an object of legend when the woodsman used it to slice the big bad wolf from nape to neck, in protection of the Little Red Riding Hood. It may carry old world charm, but its simplicity of design and quality workmanship make it an effective tool, or weapon, even today. Johann? The butcher. His name is often said in the same breath as that of the baker and the candlestick maker of Fabletown. And like those other tradesmen, Johann the butcher, storefront, has served Fabletown for ages. Fresh cuts, exotic meats, and even full sides of beef for the vigorous appetites of ogres and trolls. But Johann's business had fallen on hard times and fallen in with the wrong crowd. As the quality of his products declined, and his business turned into a front operation for the Crooked Man, some have started to wonder if they ever really knew Johann. Bluebeard's money. One might think that Bluebeard donates funds to the Fabletown government for nefarious purposes, seeking special favors, or to have a louder voice in government proceedings, but what he really wants is stability and strength. Because, as far as Bluebeard is concerned, Fabletown exists to insulate him from the Mundy world. As much as his money can be a sword, it can also serve as a shield. Let's not forget this guy killed all his wives, okay? The Crooked Lair. Occupying a desanctified church, this is just one of the many locations the Crooked Man's operation uses to run the Fabletown underworld. Its lounge atmosphere makes for a comfortable meeting place, unless you are an unwelcome guest. It is completely boarded up to the outside world, and the only way in is through one of the many portals marked by a door with the Crooked Man's Catherine Wheel icon, scattered throughout the city and elsewhere. Yeah, and I was wondering if this is the same Crooked Man that has his own RPG Maker game. Like, it's a pretty popular RPG Maker game, and I've watched the whole thing. But in that version, the Crooked Man was actually much scarier, with his whole neck at like a... his whole neck was bent down so that it was like touching his shoulder, but ew. The Crooked Man, Crime Lord. The Crooked Man has slowly built himself into one of the most powerful figures in Fabletown. His operation started with a crooked sixpence and a crooked house, two things he cared about more than his wife or children, whom he killed rather than let them stand in his way. Whoa! In his rise, the Crooked Man has ensnared many fables in his criminal web, providing them with what they need, but always at a high cost. He is cunning, persuasive, and ruthless. Tiny Tim, Sentry. While most fables theorize that their longevity and overall well-being is improved by the Mundy world's knowledge of them, for a select few that does not seem to apply. When a malady or injury is an integral part of a fable's story, that notoriety can make recovery nearly impossible. That's what Tiny Tim thinks, at least. And no medical care or magic, rather, none that he can afford, can heal his leg. Life on the farm. With its idyllic location and managed community, the farm would seem to be a welcome alternative to eking out an existence in Fabletown. But those who have lived there see it very differently. They see it for what it is, a prison. A place where you are free to be who you are and do whatever you please, except leave. It doesn't help that while Fables who are pure humans do not have to worry about being sent to the farm, they always seem to fill the leadership roles there. A little bit of, what would you call that? Like racism, but with Fables that look like humans, and Fables that don't look like humans. So basically, if you're a human-looking Fable, you're at a massive advantage just because you don't have to spend all of your money buying glamours. Somehow, Beauty and Beast are still broke as hell, so... Anyways, that's it for today's Wolf Among Us episode 4, and we will return very, very shortly for episode 5.